friends, welcome to the military world, and if you like the video, please subscribe. If you don't know, every day serious tensions arise between NATO, the United States and Russia in Europe. The Chinese are also pressuring the Americans in the Pacific through increasingly provocative military actions in Taiwan and the South China Sea. For decades these countries have provoked each other, but it was in the year 2021 that these actions became more forceful. For example, since 2014 Russia had been in Ukraine, first invading Crimea and then supporting Russian separatists in the Donbass region, but it was exactly in 2021 that the Russians stepped up the pressure with President Putin concentrating over 100,000 troops on the Ukrainian border and putting the United States and NATO in a difficult situation with audacious demands that even include ending the military alliance in Eastern Europe. And in Taiwan it was the same thing, with China breaking records for aerial invasions of the island in the island's air identification area in 2021 and the following year. But why all this growing pressure in 2021? This is a well-known phenomenon in the world that occurs whenever a new president takes over the White House. Whenever this happens, the adversaries of the United States test the strength and determination of the new president through actions with the level of provocations that gradually increase. But in the case of 2021, with the new Biden administration, what definitely killed the reputation of the U.S., without a doubt, was the disastrous exit from Afghanistan. But sooner or later, the United States would need to get out of Afghanistan, but this exit would need to be progressive and, most of all, it would need to adapt to the situation on the ground, which was exactly what President Biden didn't do, limiting himself to following a script that dictated the exit of all troops from the country. Not even the massive Taliban offensive was enough to cause President Biden to revise his strategy, which resulted in August 2021, in a clumsy withdrawal action that left more than 200 dead and nearly 1,000 injured. This action to leave the Afghan government alone against the Taliban was interpreted by Russia and China as a great sign of weakness. President Biden had said even during the election campaign that he would never abandon the Afghan government, and even in April 2021, shortly after the Taliban offensive, President Biden said he would do everything to ensure the continuity of the Afghan government. But in August, 4 months later, all President Biden did was say that his heart was with the Afghan people as the capital was taken over by the Taliban, known for their violence and thirst for revenge. The abandonment of Afghanistan in the Russian and Chinese view was a clear sign that the Biden administration was not willing to make great sacrifices for its allies. And as in nature, when an animal senses fear and weakness in its adversary, Russia and China advance in clearly coordinated actions, Russia in Europe and China in the Pacific. For these countries, if the United States was unable to adapt to what was happening in Afghanistan to guarantee the survival of that government, then Washington will not make great sacrifices for Ukraine or Taiwan either. It is a natural phenomenon that happens all the time among wild animals. Of course, the United States is still by far the largest and most powerful military power on the planet, but the perception that Russia and China have is that this country is being managed without much determination to help its allies, and that is why the Russians and the Chinese have so much pressure on the U.S.
快快，加油加油，好样的！
Опрессивно! Цель.
重要的还是撤下吧。